Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Deck Tech for EDH. This is the day after Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a good one. I am in a tryptophan-induced coma because I made the turkey and it was delicious, and now I've just got, like I said, an absolute food coma. So I figured while I'm here, I'll give you another Deck Tech, and this is a double whammy. This is Ephara God of the Polis with Brago, the King Eternal. Now, this is a monster nasty deck. It's not as nasty as it could be. Brago is a bad sumbitch. And so Ephara is the commander for... Ephara is the commander that is the more benign seeming commander. She's indestructible. This is Azorius. She's indestructible God, 6/5. Your devotion has to be 7 of white and blue. And at the beginning of each upkeep, if you had another creature enter the field under your control last turn, you get to draw a card. Seems very chill, good for political stuff, because Brago himself is pretty well known as one of the most awful, mean, and amazing commanders in the business. And so if Brago's your commander, people are going to immediately see him coming a mile away, and they're going to target you, and they're not going to let you have him if your opponents have half a brain, and for good reason. So Brago is flying. He's a 2/4 for 2 in Azorius. And when he deals combat damage to a player, you can exile any number of target non-land permanents you control and blink him right back to the field. He's nuts, and anybody who plays him is a bad person. And I'm only slightly a bad person, so that's why I try and get him in my opening hand if I can. I'll mulligan until I get him, or I'll hopefully draw into him. And just chill with Ephara and say, hey guys, I just want to draw some cards. Aren't you going to let me draw some cards? It's nothing. And then you kind of do dumb stuff along with it. So this is kind of a 2-for-1 where you spend a little bit more and then you can get some additional pieces to throw in with Brago if you want to switch up the commanders, which isn't a bad idea, especially in 1v1. So quickly through the mana base. Trying to think if there's anything else. Tryptophan Fog, man. I hope you guys had an awesome Thanksgiving. This is my favorite holiday. So yeah, that's them. We'll put them over to the side here, just like so. And mana base. You know I don't worry too much about mana base. This is brand new, so I haven't played it a whole lot other than 1v1. And so I've got 7 plains and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 islands. Now, like I always do, I have a couple of proxies in here, but this is my deal. I only proxy cards that I own. And when some people like to give me shit about it, not on YouTube, but in my play group, I'll say, hey, you can either live with the proxy or you can wait 10 minutes while I unsleeve my modern decks and assemble this thing. And that usually shuts them right up. So if you're playing in a casual environment like I do, it's competitive level, but it's casual in terms of not being super spiky, and we don't play for prizes or anything like that. So they should be fine about it. Otherwise, they can sit and wait because they're going to be a dick. So anyway, more lands. Command Tower, Flooded Strand, Proxied Hallow Fountain, Glacial Fortress, again another proxy, Seachrome Coast, Azorius, Guildgate, Tranquil Cove, Prairie Stream, Sajiri Refuge, Irrigated Farmland, Coastal Tower, Azorius Chancery, Mystic Gate, Temple of the False God, Rogue's Passage, Terramorphic Expanse, Evolving Wild, Halimar Depths, which is good. You can actually blink that sometimes. And that's really badass to keep going through the top of the library. When an ETB is tapped, you get to look at the top 3 of your library and rearrange them in any order. So that's lands, and then Strip Mine and Reliquary Tower. So those are the lands. There are 35 of them. You can bump it up to 36 or 37 depending on how lucky you are with your lands. So far, this isn't bad. You're going to be drawing a lot of cards once you get going anyway. So Mana Rocks, Soul Ring. I got a new Mana Vault, so that's in there as well. Also really good because you can blink that guy with Brago and the Soul Ring as well. Mind Stone and Basalt Monolith. Obviously, more Mana Rocks. Get the good Mana Rocks the best you can. Thought Vessel and Commander Sphere. They're good. And Thran Dynamo is another one of the Mana Rocks. These guys tap for mana. I'm assuming you all know what they do, so let's move on to the fun stuff. All right. Blinky creatures. We have Misty Witch. Mist Bitch. Let's zoom in a little bit here. She is a 1/1 for 1 and a hybrid white or blue. If you pay 2 and an Azorius, you can blink a creature. Flicker a creature, excuse me. It comes back at the beginning of next end step. So I'll just say blink or flicker. Blinking brings it out of play and then into play right away. And then flickering is like Flicker Wisp, where it goes out and it comes back at the end of the next, the beginning of the next end step. So she's a flicker creature. She's great. My buddy has a Pauper commander deck with her, and it's freaking awesome. It's a lot of fun. So she's in there. Flicker Wisp, obviously, is in there. He flickers a creature. 3/1 for 1 and 2 white, flying, and then he flickers any permanent, yours or somebody else's. Usually it's going to be yours. Eldrazi Displacer. He blinks, tapped. He's devoid, 2 and a white for a 3/3. And if you pay 2 and a waste, you can blink a creature. You can blink any creature, but it comes into play tapped. So if somebody's going to attack you, or if somebody's going to try and do something dumb, then you can blink that. Otherwise, you're going to blink your own stuff. And that's the other reason why I've got a decent amount of value-based colorless lands that tap for colorless mana, because there are some wasting creatures here that need that colorless mana, and he is the chiefest among them. Salt Skitter is an Ephara card, really, really good. Whenever another creature comes into play, he goes away, and then he comes back at the end of the turn. So he is like kind of a bad Nor in the Wary, if you will. And again, he looks pretty benign. I'm just drawing cards, guys. Restoration Angel, that's the proxy. I've got it in my my Mages deck, which I did a deck tech on. Feel free and have a look at that. That's a fun one. 3 and a white for a 3/4 flying Flash. Flash is kind of a big thing here. And when she ETBs, you can blink another target non-angel creature, just so that you don't blink herself. Or something else, and then just go infinite with herself, with Impact Tremors or Soul Sisters or something like that. Angel of Condemnation. 3/3 flying Vigilance for 2 and 2 whites. You can pay 2 and a white and tap it and exile another target creature and return it to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. She flickers. You can also pay 2 and a white and tap her and exert her, and you can exile another creature until she leaves the battlefield. You're going to be blinking her with Brago and other stuff, so not necessarily the best ability to use for her, but it's definitely relevant. So you can play shenanigans with that. Again, another good blinking creature. Felidar Guardian, everybody's favorite from Standard while it lasted, and Modern for those liking to use the Jeskai Saheeli combo. 3 and a white for a 1/4 Cat Beast. And when he ETBs, you get to blink another card you control. Peregrine Drake and Deadeye Navigator. This is the infinite mana combo that everybody knows so well and hates. It's Peregrine Drake, 4 and a blue, 2/3 flying. When it ETBs, untap up to 5 lands. And Deadeye Navigator, he's 4 and 2 blue for a 5/5, and he's got Soul Bonds. So whenever he pairs with another creature, they remain paired as long as you control both of them. And as long as he's paired to another creature, which will be the Peregrine Drake most often, if you can get it, they have the ability where you can pay 1 and a blue, exile this creature, and it comes back into the battlefield under your control. So you can blink both of them, untap your lands. So you pay 2, blink, untap 5 lands, you float mana from those lands before you untap them, so you're netting 3 mana at least, most often. So you get infinite mana with this. Now, I don't have like a Blue Sun Zenith or anything really ridiculous like that, but you can definitely blink this an infinite number of times, and then you can use your Eldrazi Displacer or some other stuff that you can use to control the entire board and bounce everything off of the board. There's only one real legit win con in here, other than token generation. But so it's not like this is going to be a gigantic win con that ends the game with a blue Sun Zenith, which is really obnoxious. You have to actually have a little, I like to think you have to have a little bit of style for this. So that's the Peregrine Drake, Deadeye Navigator. There are other untapped creatures that let you net mana as well. Another blinky creature is Aetherling, 4 and 2 blue for a 4/5. You can pay 1 blue and flicker him. You can pay 1 blue, make him unblockable. You can pay 1 colorless, he gets +1, -1 until end of turn, or you can pay 1 colorless and do the opposite, -1, +1. So he's great. Obviously, he's in there for the blinking effects so that Ephara lets you draw more cards. 1 Planeswalker, which is Venser the Sojourner, and he comes in for 3 and Azorius. Starts with 3 loyalty. You can +2 to flicker something. Any permanent you own. And then you can minus him, and creatures are unblockable this turn. And you can -8. I suppose this is kind of a win con in and of itself. You get an emblem where whenever you cast a spell, exile target permanent. So you just do all the bad things. Then you get into, you have Monastery Mentor. So whenever you cast a spell or a non-creature spell, he triggers him to create a token. You get a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess onto the field. He himself has prowess. He's 2 and a white for a 2/2. He's very, very good. I'm going to do my count of how many non-creature spells I have in the event that I have to replace him with, say, maybe a Leyline of Anticipation. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know if you think he's better than Leyline of Anticipation, because it was a close between those two. All right, here we go. Now the value creatures. You've got Augury Owl, 1/1 flying for 1 and a blue, and when he ETBs, scry 3. You have Monk Realist, 1 and a blue, or 1 and a white, excuse me, for a 1/1. When he ETBs, destroy an enchantment. Snapcaster Mage, everybody knows what he does. 1 and a blue, 2/1 flash, and when he ETBs, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gets flashback. Then Reflector Mage, when he ETBs, return target creature you don't control to its owner's hand, and they can't play that creature back, or any creature with that name, until your next turn. So you can use him and just clear the field of all the battlefields as well, or all the creatures on the battlefield. So he's a 2/3, and he costs 1 and an Azorius. Thassa lets you scry. She's a 5/5 indestructible god, and because she's monocolor, your devotion needs to be blue 5 in order to man her up. But at the beginning of your upkeep, you get to scry 1, and then you can pay 1 and a blue and make target creature you control unblockable until end of turn. Then you got Man of War. He's a throwback from Visions, baby. He's too good not to play. And super style points for going old school. So he's a 2/2 for 2 and a blue, and when ETBs, return target creature to its owner's hand. Then you've got the really, really, really mean creatures. You've got the triplets, the Rishadan Cutpurse, the Rishadan Footpad, and the Rishadan Brigand. The Rishadan Cutpurse costs 2 and a blue, and she's a 1/1. And when she ETBs, everybody sacrifices a permanent unless they pay 1. The Footpad costs 3 and a blue. He's a 2/2, and when he ETBs, same thing. Everybody other than you sacrifices a permanent unless they pay 2. Then the Brigand, flying 3/2 for 4 and a blue, and when they ETB, each opponent sacrifices a permanent unless they pay 3. And Rishadan Brigand only can block flying, but I don't give 2 shits about that. That don't mean nothing to me. So these guys are your really, really mean cards. And then sometimes people will use like Tangle Wire and some other stuff that won't let you untap your stuff. But you use Brago and you untap him, and you swing in and you blink everything. And so you have mana to use and your opponents don't. Brago can be incredibly mean. This is my attempt to be less mean with Brago while still having stupid fun. Fairy Artisans is the next one. 3 and a blue for a 2/2 flying, and whenever a non-token creature ETBs under an opponent's control, make a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. Then exile all other tokens created with Fairy Artisans. So if somebody plays like a Terastodon, you get one too. And I think their triggers go first, active player, non-active player. So their triggers go first, so they get to blow up whatever, and then depending on how nice they are to you, you can choose to blow up their shit or somebody else's stuff. But, you know, they play a commander, you get a commander. They play a thing, you get a thing. So it's fun, dumb stuff. More value. Archaeomancer, 2 and 2 blue for a 1/2, and when he ETBs, return an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Venture, Shaper Savant, 2 and 2 blue. He's a 2/2 flash, and he's a remand, and he's a, not the remand, the other one. He's that on a stick. When he ETBs, return target permanent or spell to its owner's hand. Stonehorn Dignitary, 1/4 for a Rhino Soldier for 3 and a white, and when ETBs, target opponent skips their next draw, or I'm sorry, the next combat phase. So that's lots of fun, and it's mean and awesome. Then you have Revelark, in case you want to get something back from the yard. 4 and a white, 4/3 flying elemental. When it leaves play, return up to 2 target creature cards with power 2 or less from the graveyard to play. So that is that's some bad stuff, and that includes Brago. So that works really, really well. So you can let Brago go to the yard and get it back with the Revelark. Muldrifter has to be in here. 4 and a blue, 2/2, evoke 2 and a blue, which means you can evoke him for 3 and then sacrifice him right away. I don't like to do that. I like to keep him on the field and play the slow game and then just blink him, because whenever ETBs, you draw 2 cards. You know what else draws 2 cards? Cloudblazer. 3 and an Azurius for a 2/2 flyer, and when she enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. So that's fun. Sun Titan gets something back from the yard. 6/6 Giant, 4 and 2 white, Vigilance. And when ETBs or attacks, you can return target permanent card with CMC less 3 or less from your graveyard to the field. So that is all the value. Now let's go with some of the artifacts. Sensei's Top. Everybody knows what he does. Pay 1 and rearrange the top 3 cards of your library. And you can tap them and draw a card and put Sensei's Top on top. Yeah, it's wonderful. Costs 1. Voltaic Key is great with the Basalt Monolith and the Mana Vault. Pay 1, tap it, and untap target artifact. This is one of the things that makes Brago work so well, and Ephara to a point. You can pay, it's an artifact for 2, costs very, very little in cash money. It's specialized for this kind of deck, and it's just dumb. So you can pay 2 and tap it and copy target triggered ability you control, and you can choose new targets for the copy. Whispersilk Cloak. Equipped creature is unblockable and has Shroud for an equipped 2. It costs 3 to bring out, so you slap that on your Brago or your Sun Titan, and Bob's your uncle. You get value. Panharmonicon. 4 for an artifact, and if an artifact or creature entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control, that ability triggers twice. So draw all the cards. Make people sacrifice all the stuff. It's incredibly dumb. Conjurer's Closet. 5-drop artifact. At the beginning of your end step, you can blink a creature that you control. Spine of Ishsaw is another potential win con. If you keep blinking that with a Capsizer, with your Mist Bitch or your Eldrazi Displacer. When it ETBs, destroy target permanent, costs 7 to bring out. And when Spine is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return it to its owner's hand. So dumb and so awesome. A couple enchantments here. This is more of the Ephara side. 2 and a white for Sacred Mesa. It's an enchantment that says at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you sacrifice a Pegasus. You can pay 1 and a white to put a 1/1 white Pegasus creature token onto the battlefield with flying. So you just do that on other people's turns, and then the following turn you draw cards and stuff. Similar to this is Mobilization, enchantment for 2 and a white. Attacking doesn't cause soldiers to tap, and it's you can pay 2 and a white to put a white 1/1 soldier creature token onto the field. Other enchantments. Propaganda, I'm going to be getting a Ghostly Prison as well, so that creatures can't attack me unless their controller pays 2 for each creature. And it costs 2 and a blue. Rhystic Study, all of the drawing of the cards. 2 and a blue, whenever an opponent casts a spell, I get to draw a card unless that opponent pays an extra 1. These are just sort of staples to any kind of blue sort of control deck. All right, Cackling Counterparts. Instant with flashback. It's 1 and 2 blue. Flashback is 5 and 2 blue. Like I said, instant, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. So that's one of the Rishadan triplets, probably. But it could be a Brago, I suppose, if something's going to die. Stun double, it's flash, 0/0 for 3 and a blue. And it enters the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the field. So those are the creatures and spells that make creatures and stuff. Now, permission, Arcane Denial. Counter a target spell for 1 in blue, and the caster gets to draw 2 cards at the beginning of next upkeep, and you get to draw 1. So there it is. Negate, counter target non-creature spell. Counter spell, do what it says. Cancel, this is probably going to turn into a mana drain. I actually played a draft, and I got a couple of packs for my birthday from a buddy of mine, and I opened a mana drain. This is Iconic Masters. So the cancel might turn into a mana drain, or this rewind might get replaced as a mana drain. 2 and 2 blue, counter target spell, untap 4 lands. Then you've got some blinking spells that are too good not to play. I'm not playing all of them, but I'm playing the best ones that I can. Momentary Blink, 1 in a white instant, blink a creature, and it's got flashback, 3 in a blue. That's the reason it's in here. Cloud Shift. Blink 1 creature for 1 white. And then I've got Ghostway, which is remove each creature you control from the game, and then those creatures come back under their owner's control at the end of turn. And I'm actually not seeing my Eerie Interlude. That's gotta change. I do have Ghostly Flicker because it flickers artifacts. 2 and a blue instant, exile 2, or blink 2 target artifacts, creatures, and/or lands you control, and then return them. Like I said, it blinks. So that's an oversight on my part. I gotta get the Eerie Interlude in there. It's better than the Ghostway, but I'll have to find room for that. If you have any ideas on what I can cut for that, please feel free. Capsize. Once again, if you make infinite mana with your Deadeye Navigator, you can buy back the Capsize. And you can generate infinite mana and capsize absolutely everything from the game, and then look around the table and say, anybody want to keep going? Rite of Replication, you do this on one of your dumb cards or one of your Rishadans. 2 and 2 blue with a kicker of 5 colorless. Put a token onto the field that's a copy of target creature, and if you kick it, put 5 tokens onto the field instead. It's dumb and awesome. A couple of removal spells, Source of Plowshares, Path to Exile, 1 Fumigate, just in case I have to wipe the board. And then the only real win con, sort of, is Approach of the Second Sun. 6 and a white, a sorcery. If it was cast from your hand and you cast another spell of the same name, you win the game. Otherwise, put it 7th from the top of your library and gain 7 life. So you're going to be drawing a buttload of cards, and this will do it. So that is my version of Ephara / Brago. Please leave comments and like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what cards I could take out, what you think I should take out for the Eerie Interlude and the Ghostly Prison. Otherwise, I'll talk to you soon. And yeah, enjoy your Thanksgiving, enjoy your holiday. And I'll hit you soon with another EDH or a modern deck tech. Cheers, everybody. Bye.